like you could also roll up, and one of the logical steps past that point to move yourself away from being frustrated or angry or whatever kind of feeling you're having in that moment that you'd rather not be having, and you look at that situation, you're like, hey, check it out though, like if I'm willing to spend this much time and energy being upset and or angry, maybe
Mm-hmm.
I should just get it done myself. Because if it's really bothering me to the point where I'm frustrated or angry,
Yeah.
then maybe I should just be taking care of this myself. And then you could even go take that a step further, and you could solve that permanently by being like, hey man, I see that you don't like doing dishes, and you know what I mean. Like this is if this is the case, like it's
Mm-hmm.
the third or fourth time that you've said you're going to do the dishes and you haven't
Oh
done them, and
yeah.
then I do them. How about this? How
It's
about
like
I do all the dishes from now on,
yeah.
but you take out all the trash and clean the cat box.
Mm.
Because I notice that you don't mind cleaning the cat box, and I see you occasionally taking out the trash. So if you would rather do those two things, I'll take care of all the dishes.
If it were me, I yeah, actually, that person probably has some phobia regarding water, food, dishes thing. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
so I mean that's the thing is like
maybe they don't like their
sometimes
hands
if
being
we
wet.
don't mind doing something and we want to see that thing done, sometimes the best way to get that thing done is to do it ourselves, but make it advantageous that we do it by ourselves by using that as some kind of a
Compromise.
trading currency, because that's what we are as humans. Our time is important. Our time is worth money. Our time and energy, and what we spend our time and energy doing and feeling are what, in the end, our life totals will be. If we spend time justifying anger and justifying frustration and letting that justified anger or frustration lead into what we see, I mean, we allow those feelings that we have justified previously to then justify actions outside of ourselves, where we then are acting out our anger or acting out
Oh.
our frustration, and in which those times, all the time that we've spent thinking upset, all the time we've been upset, all the time that we're now spending angry, all of that time is now at the end of your life going to be, hours, days, months, years spent angry. When instead you could just be moving in a way where you're like, instead of being angry about this, I'm going to try and figure out how to move about this in a way where I feel less anger about the way that things are, where I feel less frustration, where I feel less
Or
whatever.
if that's the way that
You just
you
have
want
to
to
put
live.
in the work. That's all I'm trying to say. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm also saying like, and like seeing as that is true, if you're a person who wants to have those hours as being angry or sad or whatever, then you can go after that. But at least you can say, I chose this.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing too. Yeah. I'm not trying to fault anybody who lives in a space like that, because I know there are people who live in spaces that I would rather not live in.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me at least, a professional athlete, man. Anybody
Oh yeah.
who seriously competes in sports, like those guys do stuff that I could never personally
The
justify.
williest of
Waking,
willpowers.
oh my, yes, so much drive, so much will, so much. Like, okay, so just think about like the time spent from sore aches and muscles, the time spent just working muscles to the point of weakness, working out, getting up
That's a
early,
scary feeling,
staying
dude.
up late, you're working physically, you're always sweating, the hard work and pain that comes with all that hard work. And I bet you if you ask them, they'd say, hey, well, look, this is the thing. There's a trade-off for doing this. Is that when you win, or when you work your way up, or when you can see the advantages coming with this hard work, that's where the stuff feels extra good. That's where,
Mm-hmm.
when those workouts get done and you do, you're like, oh hey, I ran I ran my quarter mile X amount faster
Yeah.
than I did 2 weeks ago after this rigorous training I've been doing. They'd say, well, that's the counter to the bad feeling of, for what I would consider what feels bad about working out.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they were like, oh, this is the, even though this part is hard, this part is good.
It's scary.
So it's about, like, so these humans,
You, like,
they've
get there.
realigned the way that their brains function
Mm-hmm.
in a way that they no longer view the pain of working out as hurty pain.
Mm-hmm.
They view the pain of working out as this is advantageous growth. And that change in mindset for them allows them to go farther than I personally feel like I could go in that arena. However, there are different ways in which I'm like, I will go into the emotional depths of my soul. I will go look into the darkest corner and stare that dead in the eye, unflinching and unblinking, because I've done so much work in my past. I've done so much work with other people in their past. And I've been through so much personally that those treks, for me, they're very, very simple and very easy. They don't hurt very much anymore. Where other people are like, oh man, if I was to tread back into my most horrible memories, and I'm like, I can hang out right there. I can talk about it. I can talk in that space and talk honestly and truthfully and candidly in that space, quite simply and easily, because I've been doing it for so long, because I've spent so much time in that place where other people would deem incredibly scary and would never in a million years dive down that hole into that into cave divers for some people, like you dive into a cave.
Not for me.
Yeah. There are some people who are like, never in a million years, but they're like, oh, this is where it's at. So, and this is the thing, is different strokes for different folks. Different humans express themselves differently, and through that differentiation, we find ourselves in individual places where we can talk from a place where other people would have a hard time speaking from.